Hello, welcome to Mending Threads. This is your safe place and your stronghold for whole body wellness, mind, body, and spirit, looking at transformation toward health and wellness, which includes there's no health without mental health. So we'll be looking at whole body wellness. And we're really blessed today because we have with us someone who's going to speak on it from a different perspective. We have with us our own Mr. Sam. And I'm going to invite Mr. Sam on, Mr. Joseph Sam on, and he's with Roots to Wellness LLC. And of course, he has partnered with the Women's Resource Center in Houston, Texas. So we're inviting you today. If you have any questions, you can, within Facebook, you can send us a chat or a question, and we will be going Facebook Live. And you'll also be able to find us on Culture Vision TV at 7 p.m. on Tuesday evenings. And this show will be airing on next Tuesday, not today. And so you will see us on next Tuesday. So I want to welcome you, and I want to also welcome Mr. Sam, Mr. Joseph Sam. So, Mr. Sam, we have with us a topic that's been floating around in the community a lot. And I do want to say everything that we say on this show does not mean that we are asking you to change your doctor's prescriptions. We're asking you to include this information for yourself, your family, but address questions and this information with your physician. So I do want to say that first and foremost. So, Mr. Sam, this topic of roots to wellness, I know that we have a prevalence of with all the changes going on and the trauma that we have experienced, not through storms, but in life and history, that many people are explaining or expressing anxiety. I even had a person earlier this morning to describe some form of anxiety for driving because they've been around the heavy traffic, the changes on the highway, and all of a sudden they feel some anxiousness. So can we just talk about first roots to wellness? What are we considering roots? What are roots? What do we mean?
When I mean roots, I mean going back to original form that God made us, back
Mm-hmm.
to the roots, back to the seed.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we were pure before we were tainted when we came into this world, and we've been influenced by culture, society, government, pollution, everything. The school system, and these things shape our minds, and traumatic experiences shapes our reality as well. And I want us to cleanse our body, all 150 trillion cells from inside out, so our body can function in the way that God intended it to be functioning.
Right. So when you say so then evidently we know all these things have taken us off balance and whatever. So can we briefly talk a little bit about roots that bring calmness or bring us back to center or something?
Yes. And this is twofold. And the reason why is because I know you ever heard the term, you have a gut feeling.
Yes.
Well, what if your gut feeling is wrong?
Yes.
Because your brain and your gut is connected.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts are predicated off of what you eat. And that's why if you ever seen on social media lately that you don't see acts of violence happening at Whole Foods or Sprouts, you see that fast food restaurants. And you realize purposely we have food deserts in different diverse communities, and that affects the way we think. They're filling us up with trans fat, processed oils and sugars, no nutrition at all.
Mm-hmm.
It affects us. Oh man, it calcifies our pineal gland. It calcifies our heart. It gives us high blood pressure, it gives us diabetes, gives us all sorts of diseases. And then it had people believe that, this is just hereditary. No, this is culture, this is society set up to make us think that these things are hereditary. So to get started, I'm gonna start off with a herb called ginkgo biloba.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this herb is amazing for the brain. It
Mm-hmm.
improves your mental performance and concentration. It helps prevent memory loss. And
Mm-hmm.
also, it combats anxiety and depression. And then, outside of that, it improves eye health, it improves heart health, and
Mm-hmm.
also it increases a libido. It's
Yeah.
it's a all amazing herb, and actually, biloba is one of the oldest plants in the world. One of the
Mm-hmm.
oldest plants in the world, and you can buy this in capsule form. You can get this in tincture form, or you can have it as a tea. That's
Uh-huh.
just that's just one.
Well, look, sounds the way it's sounding. I really need to run out there and get some. So, but anyway, so the question is, when you take something like that and the dosage is not regulated, how do you know how much? You just take a little bit of it at a time until your body. How do you know how much your body needs?
Okay. Well, I always recommend if you're going to have it in tea form, you always want to do like no more than 2 tablespoons of the herb in a tea form per 8 ounce of
I
water.
see. Uh-huh.
In a capsule form, it's going to be a little different, and you just don't want to do more than 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon would be roughly around 2 to 3 capsules, depending on the
Mm-hmm.
size of the capsule.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see how that assimilates to your body.
Right.
And for
Uh-huh.
Rooted to Wellness, and for other companies that actually have the herbs and capsules, most definitely it would be important that everybody had the recommended dosage. And you can find that on the capsule, or you also can find it online as well.
Right. Uh-huh. So that's something to really, if persons have those symptoms, like probably people who have like low dopamine or something like that, or serotonin, like feelings of anxiety or memory problems or something like that, they might want to really talk to their doctor about those symptoms and their therapist, but really begin to recommend, can I take some of these? Is this helpful for me? And in lieu in combination with what I'm already taking, you see.
And
Hmm.
one thing you just said that was amazing. We're talking about serotonin.
Yes.
90% of the serotonin is made in your gut.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Hmm.
So that's why if you want to get well when you're dealing with issues of mental nervous system, you have to cleanse your gut as well as your brain.
Hmm.
Not one, not the other. I have another amazing herb to talk about. Okay, it's a few we're gonna get through here. It's called Go-To Cola.
Okay.
And this
Hmm.
herb right here actually stimulates the growth of new brain cells. It increases the
Now
blood.
say the name of it again. But of
Go
course, we'll put all this on our website and everything. But for people who might miss some of it.
Most
Hmm.
definitely. Go-To Cola is GOTU space KOLA.
Uh-huh.
And it's amazing because it stimulates growth of new brain cells, which is definitely needed. So that's going to help you with Alzheimer's. Also, increase the blood flow and circulation in your body. And also, it protects your brain from nerve damage.
Hmm. Well, I don't know if that cola part on there, but I'll say this. My great grandparents shared, and my grandparents shared with me that years ago when people were ill, they would drink the original Coca-Cola.
Hmm.
And the original Coca-Cola would make them feel so much happier and energetic. And so it must have some similar makeup with this go-to cola and Coca-Cola. Mhm.
It might. I will have to do more research on Coca-Cola.
Yes, that's right.
The original Coca-Cola was definitely way different and different regulations.
I know, and it had a different something in there, right?
Yes, it was definitely a big time stimulant. I can say
Right,
that.
right.
A next one is a beautiful herb. It's called, and it grows everywhere. It's called
Mm-hmm.
blue vervain.
Oh, spell that.
Um, Blue, then vervain is Vervain.
Uh-huh.
And this is used for brain related conditions. And it's used to increase blood supply after a stroke. It's used to reduce anxiety. It helps fight against bacteria and fungi. And it helps manage seizures. And then,
Wow.
oh yeah, it's amazing. It is used for insomnia.
Uh-huh.
And see, I was going to watch it. It's used as a diuretic and used for
Wow.
digestive disorders and gut health and for pain relief.
Whoa. Now I need to reach out and get that for sure with the pain relief. Well, then, so I got to study up on that one. That's something to study. And the memory one. Those that we want to do. Because I have problems remembering all the people's names. You see. Mm-hmm.
And another
So
one,
now I want to ask the question about the gut health thing.
okay.
So then it would seem that if these things help in that way, and we know that gut health is attached to a lot of the use of the herbs, the balancing of the herbs, and our mental health and all of that, then what does then look like we would need to, it seems that we would really need to balance out the gut health, the flora, different things in the gut. So what what can you, as you're talking, can you include a little bit of something in there of what we need to do with this gut health?
Oh, yes. In order to reset the gut, you can do two things. And when I say this, like we said at the beginning, you definitely want to talk to your doctor if you are considering these things.
Right.
And one of them is fasting. Um, Fasting for 3 days helps reset your gut. A 3 day fast, a 3 day water fast.
Right. So are you just not having anything, no green juice, no nothing, just water?
That's the quickest way to reset your gut.
I see.
But
I see.
but if you want to talk about green juicing, you can do that as well, and it's going to give you all the nutrients you need. The only difference is why water is faster to reset the gut because your body is, other than the water itself, your body does not have to break down any food. Even though you're still having juice, it still has to break down a lot of things within that juice. It's in different parts of the body. Within the
Mm-hmm.
water, you're just hydrating your body, you're flushing out. So
Mm-hmm.
I personally never recommend water fasting. I always recommend eating whole fruits and vegetables and juicing because I want people to get the proper nutrition, and I
Right.
want people to get the right amount of energy to be able to go throughout your day because we all still have to go to work.
Well,
And
I know that you just finished, you just completed a fruit fast. Can you share a little bit of that as we go, as we talk about your gut, the gut? The,
yes, I finished a 31-day fruit fast.
ooh, how, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do the three, but okay.
You're gonna be able to do amazing. It changes lives. I tell you what, my hair grew back thicker. I was happy. My skin cleared up. I lost 17 pounds, and I'm not even a big guy. I lost 17 pounds. I would breathe. You can breathe better. You taste better. All your senses are enhanced when you're eating the things that God wants you to eat. And what it consists of is watermelon, which I loved, cantaloupe, honeydew,
Okay.
blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, and also the sleeper is cucumbers. Because cucumber is actually a melon. It's part of the melon family. It's just not sweet. And cucumber hydrates your body, helps your skin and nail grow. It's good for your skin. And I was just eating those all day long. And then in the morning, warm water with key lime juice in the morning when you wake up. And it helps
Yes.
flush your body of toxins. Because when you're asleep, your body is at ease and you're fasting. That's why they say you're fast asleep. Your body, you're fasting, you're at rest. This when your body heals the most. One of the most important nutrition is sleep, because that's when you're able to heal. And that's why when you eat breakfast, you're breaking your fast, break fast. And
Right.
your fast with herbs or warm tea that can flush your body or what your body been working on. That's why usually when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is use the restroom. And if you don't use the restroom, drink 2 cups of warm tea.
Right.
Help flush out the toxins that your body's been trying to get rid of.
Right. Oh, those are some good helpful hints. And those are some that I'm taking seriously too. Because I think as our audience listen, that we could actually put a lot of these things in practice. And so some of them are so easily to put in practice and none harmful or none questionable in a sense.
Yes.
Mhm. Mhm. Very good. So when you did that, you determine that your digestive system had changed, or that how can you tell whether there's a balance in your system, in your gut? You know what I'm saying? Mhm.
Yes. Well, the easiest way to tell is number one, it's going to be less fluid retention. Number two, your gut's gonna get smaller. You literally, for me, it looked like I was a walking 6 pack, because my body was flattening out and I was eating the proper foods. And three, you really know your health by your bowel movements.
Yes.
Your bowel
Yes.
movement will tell you your health. And we're talking about consistency. Are they, you know, I don't want to get too descriptive, but by your bowel movements, you can tell by different colors. And you can all look this up on Google or different health sites how bowel movements are supposed to look and what it represents. And
Right.
it will let you know, like, hey, am I getting enough water? Am I eating too much fiber? Am I having too much protein? Am I sick? Do I have any seriously related problems just by your bowel movements? Also, you can tell by your urine. If no, here's one thing I need to let people know: your urine and your bowel movements should never smell. If it ever smells, you need a detox. And you should
Right.
definitely try the 31-day detox.
Right.
And
Right.
it's amazing.
Right.
And also another big one, when you do this detox, you will never have to use deodorant, because you're not supposed to put the deodorants that we have in the market on your armpits, because it has heavy metals in it, and you're literally putting this this foreign object directly on your lymph node.
Yes. Yes.
Node. And
Mhm.
this can lead to different other source types of cancers, and it stops your body from eliminating toxins that's trying to be pushed out through your lymphatic system. There's
Mhm.
other options that you can look healthier version. Also, what I use is interesting. And then at one point, I could stop, because I was like, oh, I haven't wore regular deodorant in like 5 years. It's
Yes.
and I won't stink because I eat properly. All I come out is regular inflammation that from sweating, from working out. And also you can use a key lime, a seeded key lime, cut it in half, and you leave it rub it on your armpits. It neutralizes any odor, if any, and it helps cleanse your lymph node to help the process of elimination. So you get the best of both worlds and you will not smell at all. It's better than deodorant. Deodorant causes so many problems in male and females. I want
Right.
everybody to really start looking at the ingredients. These
Right.
ingredients are so important. When you go to the grocery store, when you buy something packaged in a box or something in a jar,
Yes.
I want you to read the ingredients. I want you to like look up the words you don't understand, the words that you see, but you don't know what purpose does it serve, or what these preservatives or food colorants are, or dyes, or MSG. I want you to look these up every time you go to the store and look up the side effects of them and what it can potentially do to you, and understand that the food you eat should only have one ingredient. The food and ingredients should always be the same. It should never be the food with dirty ingredients.
I know Dr. Atkins, who works with us, agrees with you. And one of the things that he was saying is that whenever you see those long words that you can't pronounce, you know that that's something that you shouldn't be putting in your body or on your body. And if you can't eat it, then don't put it on your body.
Most definitely, if you can't, oh my goodness, I love that. And I definitely, that's my motto. If you cannot eat it, don't put in your body, because our whole body eats. Our body is eating the nutrients, the toxins, when we absorb everything. So that means when we put certain soaps on our hands, when we put certain antibacterial soaps, when we put products in our hair, like, do you know that these relaxers and all these things we put on our hair go straight into our bloodstream? Now affects a lot of women today. Like, a lot of these hair relaxers and all these chemicals that are put in hair for male and female, but especially for women, it causes fibroid issues. So you
Yes.
be understanding of what you put in your body, and you want to make sure whatever being put in your body that you eliminate it. And there's two things that are saving grace for people. That means high water content and also exercise. You want to sweat. So you can do that during a sauna. You have to get these toxins out because you're having your liver work too hard. You don't want that going on. You want to have a process of elimination, because when everything becomes stagnant, that's when these things stay in your body and they multiply and multiply, and they find the weakest part of your body. It's like water trying to find a leak. They find the weakest part of your body, and that's where it manifests itself at. And that's
Right.
where you have the symptoms of so-called disease.
Yes, that's the point. Sometimes we as human beings attach because the community gives us these words like diseases, but not really looking at that disease is just the abnormal of something entering and disturbing the cell and how the body functions.
Yes, it really shows that disease, or the symptoms of disease, is actually showing your body trying to fight back. Like,
Yes.
most people, I want people to understand tumors in people's bodies is a response for your body to protect you. Because if your body did not make the tumor, it would spread quickly across your body. Your body, the most problems in the United States is arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoporosis, some shape and form.
Right.
People are bone to bone. And the reason why is because our nutrition. Do you know that calcium is the most abundant mineral in the body?
No, I hadn't thought of it like that.
And it's very alkaline or very base. So when we live in an acidic lifestyle, or there's fires in our body that our body needs to put out to protect itself, our body is always trying to protect ourselves. Our body is always in our best interest, unless we do something that confuses our body and now it hurts us. And those are autoimmune disorders. Calcium is pulled from your bones, and it travels to the fire and it puts it out. And that's why they use the word calcification. So now it's a
Wait a minute, say that again.
calcium is
I'm
pulled.
trying to visualize it now. I hadn't thought about it. I wish I had pulled up. Okay, say that again.
Calcium is actually pulled from your bones in your body. They take the mineral out and it travels to the weakened area or the area that's not at ease.
Yes.
Fire out in the body. And what it does is combine the calcium and the mucus that's filled with the toxin, because everything in every organ in your body has a mucus membrane. The mucus membrane purpose is to catch the invaders, things that doesn't belong in your body, to be flushed out through your lymphatic system. But when the lymphatic system is stagnant, your body pulls calcium out to replace the lymphatic system and put the fire out. And that's why you have calcification in the knees. You have fluid here, fluid there. And basically what that's doing is making your bones weaker and weaker. So you need to decalcify yourself now by having a proper mineral intake, detoxifying to remove that gunk.
Right.
And once you remove that gunk, your body will no longer be pulling calcium from your body, and then you can eat foods high in calcium to replenish your body. And I want people to understand, when we go to the doctors and they say, hey, you're like right on par, like you're right at normal levels, that doesn't mean that we're not sick. You want to be at the optimal level at all times.
Yes.
It's not about being at normal range. It's about being your best self. I want people to thrive, not to survive.
Yes. So go back. So you were then we're still talking about creating balance with herbs and roots. But when you go back and you mentioned that that when you go to the doctor, before you go to the doctor, you want to recognize the balancing act that's trying to occur.
Yes.
So what is it when the calcification, I wanted to later on sometime we'll deal with pain and different ones, but what happens with calcification that you can do? What are some of the things in order to create that balance would we as individuals, in terms of our self-management options that we have, to decisions that we would begin to ask questions about? What would we begin to do? What are we asking? Should we do on the end of the deposits coming out and on the ends of prevention?
Okay. And this is a great question. The answer would be, first is you need to know what's in your kitchen or know what's at your restaurants that you go to. Because the first step wouldn't be the herb. Because if someone takes herbs for healing, but do not change their lifestyle, you're basically on a treatment plan. You're not reversing the problem to be back at homeostasis, to be back at balance. You're literally just keeping it at bay. And like I said, we're not here to survive. We're here to thrive. I want you to reverse that. I want you to go through a detox. Most people have been on this earth on an average 30 years or more, bare minimum. Right. And if you think about 31 years to 50 years, someone take 31 days out your life, which we all don't put more than 31 days in things that we focus on or that we deemed important. This is important because, man, we're losing so much of our food. We need to grow our own food. But when it comes to the food that we eat, you need to understand what is acidic, what is giving you yeast, what is giving you processed oils and sugar, what is causing heart problems, what is causing the diabetes, what is detrimental to you. So then you can change your diet. And once you change that, that's already going to be working in you. Because here's the thing, you can reverse disease without, quote unquote, taking herbs. It's just going to take a long time. You can definitely do that without taking herbs. Herbs are for the healing of the nation. Herbs with the proper nutrition accelerates the process for you. And
Mm-hmm.
This is for the acceleration of healing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it carry people different ailments, but more so to reverse all chronic illnesses that you have. And it starts with what you put in your mouth. You can
Yeah.
almost, when you do consultations, if you ask someone their lifestyle, like how much water you drink, how much you exercise, what do you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? What do you do
Right.
for snacks? You can almost literally tell what's going on with somebody or what issues they're going to have based on what they're eating.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's always
And you can, and also you can actually determine their mental health status by how they, not only what they say, but how they, the priority of how they answer. You know, the importance of how they accept yes. Mm-hmm.
yes. But you know what? It's crazy because asking somebody what they eat every day when they are on the spot, it's like asking someone who they voted for. it's I'm serious. It's this how it
But
starts.
you have to always kind of like ask permission. Like we're doing this for this purpose of blah blah blah. So you know you want to do this. So I'm gonna have to ask you some personal questions.
Not like it'll be more so like I say like what do you eat for breakfast, right? Oh, I eat a salad for breakfast, eat that for lunch and dinner. And then, in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds really good. But now I probe, well, what do you put on your salad? And then I ask the question, well, what's your favorite restaurant to go to? What's your favorite fast food? What's your favorite meat to eat? Then all of a sudden, oh yeah, I eat chicken, eat beef, eat it rare, and I go to Popeyes every now and then.
Yes.
Like, in my head, I was on right now all my notes like, well, I thought you ate salad just 3 times a day and that was it. Now we get into the issue. It's all about asking the right questions
That's right. That's right.
to get the most out of the conversation so we can have formulate a plan to reverse your disease.
Yes. And I find that some of the people that we treat for depression, and that, some areas of that. So I want to get into like ADHD and some other things. But I find out that they do eat a lot of fried foods. And so it's also a coping, as well as is it keeps that cycle going. And then there's a high intake of sweets. Okay, so it seems to be oils, it seems to be fried foods and sweets.
You know what we call that?
What?
We call it it's on dopamine. Fried foods, sweets,
Yes.
crunchy food, it's all dopamine. It's a drug. That's where the word dope come from dopamine, the dopamine effect. It's all drugs and it affects your body in a major way. You have to get rid of these things. You have to detox yourself off so you can function. It's hard. Like, bless you. And sugar is more addictive than cocaine.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's hard to give up sugar. If you're
Yes.
and the thing, sugar is essential. You cannot live without sugar, but you need to
Yes.
eat sugar that's inside of a plant. If you
Yes.
want
There you
sweet,
go.
you eat fruits. Fruits is the most amazing thing in the world. Everybody want to drink healthy water? Eat your fruits. Fruits is
Mm-hmm.
the ultimate mineral water. Fruits at the bare minimum, with the exception of a few fruits, is going to be 70 to 96% water. So if I'm looking at an apple like this big, so
Mm-hmm.
just take off like this much of it. This is all the water content. And it's water filled with all the minerals, phytonutrients, and filled all the antioxidants. Oh my goodness, all the vitamins. And you're getting the nice sweet taste. And also you're getting the fiber. You're getting everything in unison and your body agrees with. Your body understands it. Your body doesn't store it away in fat cells because it doesn't recognize there's no invaders. It knows exactly what to do with it. And that's
I
what we
just wanted
need.
to share. I share and go along with so much. I wanted to. I regret that summers. I love watermelon, and the seeded watermelons because it has such that taste, and when you cut it, you can smell it everywhere. When it's a
Yes,
whole watermelon, and I'm gonna miss summer so much because they say after September the 10th, you really shouldn't be eating any watermelons or something because they're not going to be grown naturally. But in this area, in other words, but I wanted to share this. So we went to Trinidad on one of the trips, and I was just so happy because, like here, when you stop by, they have like tacos on a truck or something like that. Well, they have like where you go and you get coconut, and
wow,
they just take the coconut and cut the thing of the coconut off and give you a straw.
amazing.
Top of the coat. You know what I'm saying? So it had these fruit trucks, so you could stop and that's what they don't have here in Houston, are food trucks that have where you can go and get smoothies, or you could go get frozen fruit, or you could get something like that. I just couldn't find it anyway. I looked on the internet. So and everybody's trying to get the other thing, but if somebody had a truck like that or stations like that, then we would be in good shape. So I enjoyed that, being able to just go down the street and get me a cold coconut juice. They had bananas and grapes and stuff that they had put together, and it was just delicious, you see. And so that's what, yeah, I was just going along with what you're saying. We have no idea of how good it is as a sugar, as a good sugar.
And
Hmm.
I'm glad you mentioned coconut because coconut is one of the closest things to breast milk that you can get to. And it's one of the most complete nutritional milk or coconut water that you can get to on this earth. It
Hmm.
hydrates you, you all your vitamins, and you can talk to your doctor first, but it definitely is good for babies and kids that are growing. That and cucumber water. Cucumber water,
Yeah.
cucumber juice, they both hydrate you and give you a lot of nutrients that helps with high blood pressure. It helps with your heart health. It helps with diabetes. I mean, these are two amazing fruits. Even though I
Mhm.
consider cucumbers a vegetable, it's definitely a fruit. And you want to find the one with the big seeds in them if you can, because never eat seedless. There's a question I always ask anybody in this world. If it don't have no seed in it, how did they make it?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Where did it come from?
Came from the laboratory. That's where it came
That's
from.
a lab melon. Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
They call it Frankenfood.
We call it what?
Frankenfood.
Frankenfood. Right.
Yes, definitely.
That's
Well,
so now. Okay.
also I want to talk about more so the gut.
Yes.
I know we've been talking about the brain, but I want to talk about the second brain, which is the gut.
Yes.
And there's a couple of good ones. There's a one called Rubert root, and it's Rhubarb. And this one's amazing because it's good for constipation.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for digestive health, high cholesterol, helps with obesity, kidney disease, gum disease, stomach bleeding, kidney failure, and it helps with STDs such as gonorrhea.
Wow. Now that's something we need to really, cause especially with the gum disease and whatever, and some other things, because I understand that there's some things that you can rub on your gum
Yeah.
and it will tighten your gum up and keep you from losing your teeth. And I don't know if this is one of them.
Well, one that I use, well, two things I use, and one is biblical, myrrh. Myrrh and having it in the powder form to brush your teeth with it. Also, clove, myrrh and clove.
Uh-huh.
That's in powder form. It does amazing work for your teeth because you don't want to have fluoride. You don't want to brush your teeth with fluoride. it really decays you and it calcifies your brain. If you know how they have to put fluoride in water in the city waters, you know they have to wear hazmat suits to put fluoride in water. But
Wow.
we're absorbing it every day when we in the shower. So I recommend shower filters. I recommend when you cooking with water that you use spring water and not use faucet water to boil. When you boiling anything, use water that comes from spring water. Do not use faucet water. And now
Right.
it's in the food now.
Right. So one of the things back to go back to this herb that you taught, what you call it, rhubarb.
Yes, rhubarb roots.
Yeah, now rhubarb roots, isn't that we used to my grandparents used to make a medicine from rhubarbs. Now they used to dry them, see they cooked it and grind it and put stuff in there and they'd make a paste out of it and different things like that. I need to learn how to do some of these things. So this is I've always been interested in that. You said as I used to watch them do things. Um, so now maybe I can run this past you. Now I don't know what it is. So there was medicine or something that you would cook on the stove
Mm-hmm.
and it would turn black. You start it off and it would be a green leaf or in a root and something, and you'd put it on the stove. You would add a little bit of molasses to it. It would turn dark, and you could put it in a pan, and it would settle. You could cut that because it would turn black. You could cut it; it would turn real dark, and it will cleanse everything out of your body. And the people would use it because they would use it 2 times a year. When spring would come in and something during the winter.
Yep.
Okay, and especially in the sprinkle, they would call it spring cleaning. And you would take this and it would clean, and your skin would become clearer. Your body would digest itself, would get clearer. And I'm really searching to see if anybody had ever heard of that. If our audience has heard of that, I'm asking them to go to our website and send me the information, or just call me on the phone 281-381-2276. You see, or go to wrc-houston.com, because that was everybody that is my age, maybe older, and maybe 10 years younger than myself, somewhere in that there's about, really remembers that. But nobody speaks of it anymore. Your grandparents and your great grandparents pretty much used it. Okay,
Yes.
and they went outside and got it. Okay, and then came back and prepared.
That remind me of my grandma. My grandma's from Opelousas, Louisiana, and I gave her a bitter tonic, and she said, "This remind me back when I was in Louisiana. My grandma would give this to me to make sure I wasn't anytime I get sick." And I said, and that's why most people can't stomach taking bitter herbs, taking time. But she, oh, this ain't nothing. I've been taking this growing up my whole life, and the beautiful thing that what you're talking about, because here's the beautiful thing about herbs. Herbs grow all parts of the world, and they can have the same benefits, but just for the people that live in that region. And
Yes.
when what you're talking about, has that name for it, the purpose of that, because we're doing a change of the seasons, it was to cleanse your blood and to cleanse your liver. And once you have your cleanse your liver and cleanse your blood, when the season changes, you won't have allergies.
That's right.
And that was the purpose of it, to cleanse your blood, cleanse your liver. And when you cleanse your blood, you cleanse your skin.
And never heard of any allergies until recently, moving to here in Houston. But in that area, very few people have any allergies, any sinus, or anything like that. But I think they still use a lot of that stuff. But I think it's probably because there are not a lot of people living close together, maybe.
You know what though? You know how I used to term it's not hereditary, it's culture. But guess what? there's a good side of culture too. It's a very good side of culture. And when people understand the things that herbs can do to heal the body and prevent you from definitely diseases that are 100% preventable, more
Yes.
people will come on and help their children, to help them, help their parents and grandparents and great grandparents, all down generations. And here's the kicker, and this is very important to me. One of the most important things in life, my belief, is to procreate. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to, and when I do have children, God willing, I want to give my child the best chance in life.
Yes.
And do you know that the egg of a woman affects 3 generations?
Wow. What do you mean? Say that again. Mm-hmm.
So the grandma egg will affect the daughter and her granddaughter.
Uh-huh.
And same thing when it comes from, not as much so with sperm, but the egg affects 3 generations, because at the end of the day, her egg had your egg in it and had your daughter's egg in it.
Oh, wow. That's another way of looking at it. Yes.
So
Huh.
I want people to reverse the traumas in their life. I want to reverse anything that's been passed along in their family. And I want them to cleanse themselves before they have kids, because it affects 3 generations.
Yes.
So I would recommend, if you want to have children, that you should do a detox first. And then when you're having, during the pregnancy process, I want people to eat healthy. Give your child the best chance so they don't have to go through certain problems that you don't understand why. It, and so it's definitely very important.
Well, this is so good. And you know, this people laughed at me when I said I think that things follows in pretty much like 3 generations, and that's why our program, even our food prep program and everything, is intergenerational. So even our puppets, we have grandparents and the parents and the children puppet. So we could look at how every one would think of the same thing in a different manner, and how can we translate and send information differently in terms of how people receive it through different generations, even wellness. You talked about so many good things today. One of the things that I would like for us to do at some time is to go foraging.
Yes, fortune is
Yes.
cool.
Yes. And so I have a little place, a couple of places that we can go in wooded areas where we can forage. Um, we can study them first and then go foraging for them. Okay. And then see, so people can readily uh, be aware of what's around them and how it can be beneficial. So if you're up, I'm looking forward to that coming up soon. Hmm.
I'm definitely up for that, and definitely want to show people all the things that just grow naturally. The things that we use to term weeds, right? That we just naturally be killing. And it's bad because when you think about it in a biblical sense, you know, in the beginning, we had the Garden of Eden, and there was nothing but fruits there. The fruits, that trees that bear fruits. And then he said that herbs are for the healing of the nation. So we have herbs that we did not have to cultivate. We did not have to plow the field to grow. They just sprung up. So I always want people to think that these herbs, what they call weeds that grow everywhere, are for the healing of the nation. Think about the most abundant, quote unquote, weeds, right? Dandelion. Dandelion
Yes.
is so powerful for your liver, for your kidneys. It's for constipation, for high iron. It helps with anemia. It helps with your skin. Then we got burdock root that does
They
almost,
used to make a tea with, they used to make a dandelion tea. I know that.
yes. And
Mhm.
like in Texas, right? Red clover. burdock root, and dandelion root, and red clover grows everywhere in Texas. And that's letting you know, God letting you know that you sick, just go outside and pull up a root. We can't pull them up now in our yards no more because of all the stuff we have put in the soil. But like you said, go foraging and pull those roots. Oh my goodness, amazing benefits. Amazing benefits. And it's all here for us. We don't even have to cultivate anything. It's here. It's natural. We don't got to do nothing. Things are so much easier than what people think. But we have to renew our minds. But how are we going to renew our minds? We got to cleanse our gut and cleanse our brain.
Oh, that is so good. That is so good. But next time that we're on, we're going to start talking about that. But I would appreciate it as we end today. If you could send not a whole descriptive thing necessary, but just a list of the things we talked about and a brief word as to how they benefit. And put the name of your business down at the bottom and contact information. And people, I want you to know that we will have a series of webinars with Mr. Sam. So look forward to that coming. And we'll have our some on-site classes at our outreach churches. So you'll be signing up. There'll be a sign-up sheet on wrc-houston.com. And we'll follow up in some of the trips. We'll be taking grocery store trips and trips to the, and some of you may remember some of the store trips that we used to make. And then we would get food and come back and eat it and try it out. So it was an awesome time. So we will bring that back and have that, as well as hope we can get our foraging trip. Now, we have not done a foraging trip. We've done a camp out. So this will be our first foraging trip coming up. So we'll let you know more about that. Go to our website, wrc-houston.com. Look to see what you have on there. Dr. Atkins has a workshop already. Mr. Sam will have a webinar and workshop that you can sign up for. If you're an organization and you want a speaker to come out, all you have to do is to go there and sign up. If you want to take a class, go there and sign up. And so give us next week, beginning September the 10th, you'll be able to go there and get all your classes. Also, go put your name in for Saturday Wellness Clinic for tidbits of information that will be occurring in the classes and what you might be interested in with your organization. Our mental health coaching program, you can sign up for the next program coming up, the fall program. The orientation will be the end of September. The last Tuesday in September is the orientation, and the classes start in October. Okay. So thank you. I want to thank Mr. Sam for being here. Please, I thank you so much. It was just a wealth of information for healing. And we'll see you all same place, same time, same station next week. Remember this: renew beliefs, rebuild faith, and reconnect families and communities. For it's not the circumstances we meet, it is the manner in which we respond that brings health, happiness, and success. I'll see you next week. Thank you.